So if you are new here, we are the Newbys.
Welcome to our channel. We are super excited to have you with us.
This channel has so far documented our last year on the road in a small self-converted camper van called Cotty.
It's been very, very epic.
So currently we're of course in lockdown like most people in the UK, but while we aren't on the road and recording our usual travel vlogs, we're doing something slightly different and have put together these little travel guides.
And today's travel guide is all about Suomi, Finland. One of our favourite countries that we've ever been to. Finland holds great adventure for anybody that wants to travel there, especially in a van.
Before we get started, please do remember to give us a like if you enjoy this video, hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment because we would love to hear from you.
And of course, if you've got any friends you think that would like to watch us too, do share our videos.
So what does a travel guide from the Newbys look like? Well, in this video, we're just going to run through some of the highlights of our time in Finland, give you some tips on how we found the places we went to and what we did there, and some insider Finland secrets, which you may not know, that will hopefully stand you in good stead if you're heading up that way.
And stick around to the end and find out what we liked most about Finland.
Throughout our journey through Europe, we were putting together videos documenting what we were getting up to, and our two videos from Finland are our two most successful travel videos that we've ever put together.
Thank you very much, Finland.
And I think we have quite a few Finnish subscribers.
Kiitos.
So, kiitos. The biggest highlight from our time in Finland has to have been, without question, going to see the bears on the Russian border.
Yeah, it really was. In that video, we got a bunch of comments from people talking about how lucky we were to have seen the bears, especially the blonde bear that we saw.
Yeah, we didn't even realise how lucky we were at the time. It was just, the whole thing was epic, it was amazing, it was such a privilege. And both of us, being massive wildlife enthusiasts, just loved every moment.
We booked through a company called Wild Brown Bear. Come on then, girl.
We made it.
Let's go and look at some bears.
We're at the Wild Brown Bear Centre.
It was something that we just found online and it seemed to tick all of the boxes. So we filled in a form online and we paid our money to go on this trip to see the bears. But it was a little bit tricky and we felt it wasn't quite what was advertised, or we thought we bought something a little bit different from what we had.
So we've linked the links of the way that we booked it below in the comments, so do check that out. One thing to be careful of is if you just book the accommodation package, it seems like great value at I think 65 euros when we did it per person. But we didn't realise that that just meant that you had a room in the hotel, but in order to go and see the bears, we had to pay another 150 euros each. Yeah. Which was something we only discovered when we were standing at the reception at the lodge.
In fairness, I think that there's a translation issue on the website going on there. Yeah. And when we looked at that £65 to go and see bears, we were like, yes, please.
Yeah. We'll have that.
We'll do it for a week.
Don't get caught out. Links below, check it out. And if you're in Finland, just go do it. So one of the really lucky things for me is that John lived in Finland for 13 years in a previous lifetime. It
was 13 great years. I loved every single minute of it. There's a simplicity in living there that is really beautiful, and I loved it.
What that meant for me was that I got to benefit from some real local insider knowledge while we were traveling around. You know, the little things like what to eat, where to stop, what's important to try, the rules, and how much freedom you can enjoy in Finland.
One huge insider tip that I would definitely say to you is, as you're driving along the roads in Finland, you will likely drive past a lot of cottage industry, small businesses. These can look a bit quirky, really worth just pulling over and stopping at. You've got these little red shacks with a fish smoker on the outside, or some kind of trinkets or curio shops selling reindeer antlers or something like that.
Yeah, and you can see that those people have run those businesses for decades.
Yeah, they're lifestyle
businesses. Everything into it.
And the fish, gosh, if you stop at a smoked fish place.
Smoked sika.
Yum. Sika is certainly a Finnish delicacy, I'd say. What do you think?
It's delicious.
Is it?
Really good.
How does it taste?
Like fish.
Like fish? A little bit salty.
A bit salty, a bit smoky.
Smoky, yeah, this one's been smoked. We ended up in Kalajoki, which is where I used to live. Made it to Kalajoki.
Yes. Look at the lovely beach behind us.
Isn't it great?
beautiful beaches. I had no idea that Finland had beautiful beaches, but turns out it does. And Kalajoki, I think, is it the longest?
Yeah, it's one of the longest beaches in Northern Europe.
We had happened to time our trip there for the end of the summer festival. What I learnt was that the Finns love a festival.
They do.
And it's called Venetian Night. And they lined the beach with thousands of little candles, and we were treated to an epic firework display, which marked the end of the summer season and the move into autumn and of course winter.
I would say that the Venetian night in Kalajoki especially, it is held all over the west coast of Finland. But in Kalajoki especially, it is spectacular. And I think it could quite possibly be one of the very best kept festival secrets of Europe. It's beautiful, 3 kilometers of beach lined with candles.
The other great thing about Kalajoki is there's lots of great small businesses serving brilliant food, fun bars.
Which ones did we enjoy?
Siikarussa was delicious.
Yeah.
Lohilakso
Lohilakso.
was great.
Pretty awesome place that. Lohilakso is at the other end of the beach from all of the chaos. So it's quite relaxed and very, very peaceful place.
Yeah.
A couple of lakes there.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
And delicious smoked salmon.
Yeah, very
really delicious smoked salmon.
Gosh, could eat that until it came out my ears.
Yum, yum.
And
Sandy Cult was a really fun bar in town.
yeah,
Sandy Cult, where you got your hat.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, it is a fun bar in town, in the centre of town, and so
an Irish pub, I think.
Irish pub,
That's it.
lots of fun there.
Yeah.
Kalajoki is about halfway up Finland on the west coast. There are some other great beaches around Kalajoki as well, and some really nice hiking. So one of the things that Finland does really well, kind of like Norway actually, and Sweden, is their hiking trails. They are well signposted, and they'll often wind their way through forests. And at the end of the hiking trails, or along the way on the hiking trails, there will be these small kotas, they're called, where you can stop in a sheltered hut and cook some matka.
This is the thing about Finland, is everything there I felt was designed so that you can enjoy the outdoors and being outside. You know, to stumble upon a little kotta in the middle of the forest that's got a fire pit, it's got wood that's been cut, usually it has a toilet. Everything you could possibly need to spend a couple of hours in the middle of the forest, cooking some sausages over the fire, having a grill, just relaxing before hiking your way back through the forest. And they've built boardwalks and little walking trails, and it's just heaven. It's so easy and so much fun to explore.
And there's nothing quite like the silence that the Finnish forest has.
It's very, very peaceful. There is a magic to that vastness and the wilderness, the way the Finns relate to the wild and the nature around them, and cherish it and look after it and exist alongside it without feeling like they're taking from it. I thought it was an incredibly special country, an incredibly special experience.
75% of Finland is covered in forest.
It's an incredible statistic. What's it in the UK?
13.
I mean, so we came into Finland through the north from Norway. We had to skirt around Sweden as much as we wanted to head in there because of COVID restrictions and travel restrictions at the time. So we entered northern Finland, and our first stop on that route passed lots of reindeer.
Loads of reindeer. It is quite incredible. You spend all of your van life driving around Europe and hardly seeing any wildlife.
Yeah, no, hardly any wildlife at all.
Very, very infrequently would you come across anything. And then the moment you drive into northern Finland, they are everywhere.
Everywhere.
They were basically taking over the road, weren't they?
Anyway, our first stop in northern Finland, having navigated our way through the herds of reindeer, was Sunnah Mountain.
It's one of Finland's largest mountains. It's certainly one of the easiest to access, and it is a great hike up the side of it.
Beautiful hike, not too challenging, just a nice gentle incline as you go up. Again, we saw reindeer on our way up, which was super fun.
Yeah.
And the views were incredible.
You're looking out over the views of Finnish Lapland. We caught it on a beautiful day, didn't we? And
did.
the views were quite spectacular. From the top you can see a myriad lakes and forests dotted around. And up in Lapland, the trees are a little bit shorter than they are in other parts of the world as you go down through Finland, because Finland is a very, very long country. So as you drive down Finland, the trees slowly start to get taller and taller and taller. And of course, up near the Arctic Circle, they're quite short.
We were in Lapland in the summer, which I think is not really how people picture Lapland. You know, you kind of picture dog sledding and Father Christmas and lots of snow.
Yeah.
But we were there in the summer and it was really, really beautiful. One thing I would warn you, because this came as a shock to me, mosquitoes and midges like you have never seen before.
Okay, there was one place
Yeah.
in northern Finland at that particular time. When were we there? End of August.
Late August.
Late August, early September, in northern Finland, next to waters. So Suomi basically means swamp land in Finnish, and there are a lot of very small, very shallow lakes, so it's kind of swampy, and the mosquitoes do like those areas. So perhaps you want to avoid parking too close to one of these swamps.
Or just be prepared. We had bought a mosquito net, but I don't think we'd really used it until that point.
No, we haven't.
And so our van wasn't very prepared.
We spent 3 weeks in Finland.
yeah.
And how many nights or how many evenings do you think we had problems with mosquitoes?
Maybe 2.
2, yeah.
It's not a big deal, but if you are in northern Lapland in the summer,
You're gonna get it.
Yeah, just get your kit out. The next big highlight in Finnish Lapland is of course Rovaniemi and Santa Claus land. So we popped in there and we did pop in to try and see Santa Claus. We were there in the summer, which is not the very best time to go, obviously, because it doesn't look like it should. It doesn't look like the North Pole with Santa Claus there. But we also were there during the times of COVID, and so things were a little bit quiet, a little bit hushed. But you could see that for kids and for families, it must be super fun. The next stop on our journey through Finland was what they call the Lakeland of Finland, which is kind of central Finland, which is dominated by a series of lots of lakes. And what I loved about this part of Finland, and what was a huge highlight for us, was the freedom that being in a van afforded us and the places that we were able to stay. Finland has the right to roam, so you're not restricted on where you can stay. And at these lakeside setups, you have again these little cabins, often a toilet, a nice big fire pit, wood supplied.
And the right to roam in Finland is quite different from the feeling of the right to roam in Norway.
Very.
Where the idea of the right to roam in Norway is definitely very much there. But actually, there's so many people taking advantage of that.
Yeah, and
it's
there's
quite
not
difficult
as much
to
space
enjoy
because
it.
of the terrain, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Whereas in Finland, there are considerably less people taking advantage of that right to roam, certainly van lifers anyway. And so you do rock up at a place and you genuinely feel welcomed to that place.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk about how easy van life was in Finland.
Yeah, the easiest of every country we went to by far.
Definitely, because at every single stop that we had the things that we really needed in order to be able to live a comfortable life in a small van. So of course, Koti didn't have a shower.
Yeah.
But in Finland, almost every place we pulled up, we had a lake next to us. And then of course there was always somewhere sheltered for us to be as well. So it was a really easy place to be on a van life.
So we did spend a few nights out of our van and we rented a small, what the Finnish called mukki, which is a summer cottage that they have usually on the banks of a lake. And for me, this was when the connection really clicked, and I really appreciated how much the Finns enjoy and embody the simplicity of life and a way of living in nature, because these mukkis are super simple. The toilet is a composting loo and it's usually outside. They have a sauna attached to them and they're on the banks of a lake. They've got no running water in the house. You're lucky if you've got electricity, but that's the beauty of it, is that you have everything you need, but it's designed in such a way that's so different from normal life.
There is a real simplicity that's integral, I think, in the day-to-day of every Finnish person, that desire, that need to be involved or have nature surround them. It seems to me anyway, and if you've got some comments or thoughts on this, please do comment below. We'd love to hear from you, but my feeling is that the Finns just really, really respect and like to be in that nature.
Yeah.
We went to see what is arguably Finland's tallest waterfall.
Well, it's disputed apparently whether or not it is or isn't, depending on where you measure from. But yes, we went to see.
So it was a
Finland's
really good example of, again, Finns wanting to be in that nature, because when you get to the car park there are signs in the car park that talk about what you can and can't pick. You can pick these mushrooms, you can pick these berries, you can pick this kind of stuff.
Lots of foraging going on, and everybody in the forest out picking lingonberries and mushrooms and things. And it was brilliant to see that welcomed, and to know that that welcoming of it was not going to be disrespected.
Yeah, and that it was allowed.
So I think what I'd say about the mukki is that you can find them on Airbnb. They are really inexpensive. Do yourself a favour and take 2 or 3 nights, spend a bit of time in someone's summer cottage, have a sauna, go and have a swim in a lake, and just feel what it feels like to have stripped everything away but still have all the comforts you need in some of the wildest places in Northern Europe.
Who can talk about Finland without talking about sauna?
The word mökki means summer house in Finnish, and most Finnish families will own one, a place to sauna and escape to the country. We were very excited to stay in this mökki right next to a lake, especially because of the sauna.
Notice that I've got my Finnish socks and sandals on.
You gotta look the part. The fire is lit. It's nearly time for sauna.
It is lit. I'm going to put some water in here so we can have a bit of a shower afterwards. As the rocks heat up, so will the water, and then we'll be able to have a nice warm wash.
This is the life.
Okay, come on then. Okay, we were told between 70 and 80 degrees is where we need to be, right at the sweet spot.
Eucalyptus, my love.
Absolutely. Hot.
It is currently 80 degrees in here.
It's good. You can cool it down by opening that thing right there. Hang on a minute. How was that?
Didn't make a difference.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
So the next step, after we've burned ourselves to death in here, scalded ourselves, is to go for a bit of a jog in the lake.
Jog in the lake?
Swim then.
A swim.
I'll just have another beer.
Yeah, man, that is so ingrained in Finnish culture. It is quite amazing.
Yeah, I think if there's a house in Finland that doesn't have a sauna, then I don't know.
Yeah, even a fancy apartment we spent a night in Kalajoki had a sauna inside the apartment. I was amazed.
Every country has a capital city, and Helsinki is, of course, Finland's capital city.
That was our last stop in Finland before we got on the ferry, quite reluctantly, I must admit, to Estonia.
I would say of all the main cities in Finland, Helsinki is the nicest. It looks the nicest, it's got more history attached to it. And I'm sorry, Tampere, Turku, Oulu, Vaasa, Kokkola, Espoo, I'm sorry to say that, but Helsinki is quite pretty comparative to the other cities in Finland. There are several really pretty neighborhoods in Helsinki, but my favorite of them all is Katijanokka. There are 2 streets in Katijanokka that have some of the most wonderful Finnish architecture I think you're probably ever likely to see. It's next to the harbour side. There's a wonderful Orthodox church there.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Kind of shining on a hill, wasn't it? White and gold.
And where was that Indian restaurant that we ate? That was in Katijanokka as well.
Yeah.
What was it called? Everest?
I think it was called Everest.
Very, very good restaurant. If you do get to Helsinki, head over to that place.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed it.
Nepalese, or was it?
Nepalese. I think it was Nepalese.
Yeah.
Great food. A lot of Helsinki is underground as well. They do that because it's cold in the winter time. And so it's quite nice to be underground. So if you like shopping, do check out the big shopping centres in Kamppi.
We really enjoyed Helsinki, and it was a perfect end to our time in Finland.
It was. I remember getting on the ferry to Estonia and leaving Finland reluctantly.
We had very heavy hearts because we just loved Finland so much.
So what was your favourite thing about Finland, darling?
I think 2 things. Can I have 2 things?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is that van life was so super easy in Finland. It had everything we needed. It was so relaxed. You never felt like you were crossing boundaries. You never felt like you were doing something that you shouldn't be doing. You know, it was just so open and welcoming and warm, and it was just brilliant. So that was the first thing. The second thing for me was the fish.
The fish?
Yes.
Is it?
Smoked sika and the salmon. I mean, we must have eaten our weight in salmon.
We did eat a lot of salmon, didn't we?
And it is so delicious. It's all fresh and it's beautifully smoked, and the Finns know what they're doing when they're cooking it. And yeah, for me, those are my 2 favourite things.
Yeah.
What were your favourite things, darling? I bet I can guess your first one.
Can you?
Yeah.
Bet you can't.
I bet I can.
Yeah? Go on then.
You like a budget, so you like that there were no tolls.
That's right. I love it, you know. After coming out of Norway and literally spending a fortune on car parking and on tolls.
Yeah.
So after coming out of Norway and into Finland and having no tolls on the roads, no parking fees, it was just great.
And what was your second favourite thing?
I think my second favourite thing would have to be the festivals. The Finns do the greatest festivals in the world, from the World Air Guitar Competition to the wife carrying competition to the sand digging competition, and of course to the festival that we visited, which I think is one of the greatest undiscovered festivals in all of Europe.
Yeah.
Venetian Night.
So to wrap up, we hope you found this useful. If you've got questions, as we said, John lived there for 13 years. He can definitely help. If you're from Finland, let us know what you thought of our video. We would love to hear from you.
We put these videos out so that you can watch them, and it would be really great to hear what you're thinking. You know, did you like the bears? Have you seen the bears yourself? Have you been to Venetian Night?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Let us know. And don't forget, all important, if you've enjoyed this video and you found it useful, please hit that thumbs up, click the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss our next episode, which is super exciting, and I bet any money in the world you can't guess where it's going to be from.
Yeah, for sure.
We will see you soon, and we hope that you are all safe, well, happy and smiling.
In the meantime, Tara has got to have a baby.
Yeah, wish me luck.